welcome to today's episode of Her Talk Show. This podcast is dedicated to a growth mindset. You see, I believe that you know something that I don't know, and I believe that I know something that you don't know. And the only way for each of us to rise in our knowings is for us to sit in a room and share those things. For those of you that are new to this show and love inspirational content like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button, follow, like, and share. I am your host, Sabrina Victoria. Let's jump right in.
We come to you every day with the best speakers, relationship coaches, spiritual mentors, trailblazers, business owners, authors, young hustlers, podcasters, entrepreneurs, fitness trainers, therapists, financial advisors, and more. We ask our guests one question. What do you know that I don't know? Get ready, because today's guest is about to change the way you view your world. This is Her Talk Show, hosted by Sabrina Victoria.
Hello, and thank you for joining us today for this episode of Her Version. I have had over 400 women grace this stage, and we are about to add another one to the list. If you are watching us live, welcome. If you are watching us on the replay, make sure you hashtag replay wherever you're watching us at so we can send you some love. Either way, if you are watching this, if you could do us a huge favor and if you could share this video wherever you're at so we can get more eyes and more ears on this content, we would much, much appreciate it. So this is Her Talk Show. We love to inspire people. We love to get people thinking outside the box. Today, I am speaking with an amazing woman named Joy. Joy is all about inspiring as many people to live and follow their purpose, to understand that without nature, we have nothing. Without love and peace, we are empty. I am so excited to have this woman here with us, sharing all of the goodness that she's bringing to her world. Welcome, Joy.
Hey, thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Yes, girl. Thank you so much for being here. You know, I always say that I just love when women understand the importance of getting up and speaking, getting up and sharing, getting up and inspiring, and talking to the world about all the things that they are doing in order to make a difference. I think so many times we're just so small and we don't want to share our voice and we're nervous and we're scared. And it's women like you who are saying, listen up, I have something to say, that are giving women the courage to be able to do it themselves, because we all have a story, we all have inspiration, we all have things that we could be sharing, we all know things that we're keeping to ourselves, and we need to be out and about and sharing all the things. So I so appreciate you coming on, taking some time out of your day to hang out.
Yeah, not a problem. Not a problem at all.
Yes. So I would love to dive into Joy's mind and for you to tell us, what's your thing? What's your value? What do you know that you wish everybody knew?
So you said a few key things a moment ago when you said that people may be shy or just don't know. I believe part of the reason why maybe they don't know, or people don't know, or are afraid because they're not following their purpose or don't understand what it is. We were all birthed. I believe we were all birthed to do one thing, which is to make this earth much better than when we left it. And also to do certain things to, make God, creator, whoever you believe in, feel happy. And once you find your purpose, you automatically find your confidence. You automatically find your streams of income. You automatically are able to talk to anyone. So finding your purpose is like real key. And it's nothing that no one else knows about. It's just, we're not taught it. It's not embedded in our DNA. These are things that I believe we should have embedded from birth so that we're more confident growing into adolescence. And then maybe we won't fall off as much as we usually do, or we can do in those stages into adulthood. Like, one quick thing, I also believe that the midlife crisis isn't necessarily because of your age. It's because you're finally realizing that whatever it is that you've been doing all habitually throughout your life may not have been what you were supposed to be doing. See, in grammar school, preschool, and adolescent age, we were always taught it's beautiful to have the dream to get married, have a decent job, 80,000 above, and have dinner, watch TV. That's not that's not the human experience. What I believe the human experience is to, yeah, you may work, but maybe you should be an entrepreneur. Yeah, you may be an entrepreneur, but do you know how to be a servant? Yeah, you may be a entrepreneur, but do you know how to lead effectively? Have you gone outside of yourself to get some of these things? So it's not, maybe you're not even supposed to have a family per se. Maybe you're not supposed to get married. But these are the things that you're not going to know if you don't start experiencing life in its fullness. And it's okay if you're not a billionaire or a millionaire. Maybe you're just meant to be a thousandaire. And there should be no shame in that. But we have all of these things that we were raised to do that makes us feel less than if we're not at that level. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. So, a person's purpose. It sounds all good. Like, yeah, find my purpose. I understand. How though? Like,
I tell you
we
how.
have people listening live right now. They're like, okay, Joy, got it. My purpose. What? How
Yeah,
do I do
I'll
that?
tell you how. It's not going to take you. I'm not going to be the type of inspirational person that says, come back to another seminar, pay me more. The bottom line is, can you look at yourself in the mirror? And if you can look at yourself in the mirror, how long? I always try to test people to say, if you can look at yourself in the mirror for at least 5 minutes and stand what you see, then you've seen the source of who you are. You wouldn't be afraid to have God, your mega creator, whoever come into you and sow into you and help lead and guide you. That's the start. And once you find out who you are, you're going to deal with all of those traumas that may have happened yesterday, at childhood, at birth, things that you think you don't remember, but you do. Once those unheath, then you can move forward. And then your purpose is, you have nothing else to hide from, but your purpose is coming right to you. So that's how you do it. You have to do the work. If you're not willing to do the work, then you're always going to be like, well, let me go for my adrenaline rush to this next seminar. Let me go for my adrenaline rush to this next YouTube video. You know what I mean? So you have to do the work in here and in here.
When you say stand in front of the mirror for 5 minutes, are you actually asking people to stand in front of the mirror for 5 minutes? Are
Literally.
we naked when we're doing this, or are we just standing there?
Listen, you can stand in the mirror, face like your face. Just look at your face. Look at your face. And I want you to see, because they say the eyes are to the soul. If
Ooh.
you can look into your soul and absolutely like the reflection that you see, then that is the beginning of understanding more than what the physical has to offer. You are
What
now
are
to be spiritual.
what are the emotions that one can expect?
Listen,
I
when
mean,
I did it,
yeah.
when I did it, I couldn't look at myself. I was, first of all, I was looking at the outer. I was looking at all the imperfections, the physical imperfections. I wasn't realizing that it's not about your physical, it's about who joy is. That spirit being, that thing that reminds you that you were put here by your creator, God, your maker, whoever you believe in. They felt it was that important enough for you to be here, to take up space, to take up oxygen and give carbon to nature, for you to be here for a specific purpose. So once you realize that, it's like, Dad, that's beautiful. You really love me that much that you would allow me to be here amongst all these other beautiful human beings? Let's work together. Yes.
What can somebody expect to feel though? Because this is the thing. There's going to be a handful of people that do this.
Hmm.
Like, we're going to watch this video and they're going to like, all right, Joy, I can stand in front of the mirror. And something's going to happen. They're going to get emotional. They're going to get angry. They're going to get bored. What all the things.
If you do it with the intent to actually find out who you are, you will feel the emotions. You may even cry. You may even just look and be like, dang. Like, you may get happy when you really realize, like, you are that loved.
Mhm.
You are that loved to actually be in a physical body. So it's very deep. You have to, but this is the thing. You have to want to do it. You know, if you're doing it just to be like to prove that I'm wrong, then you're missing the point. But if you're doing it to actually prove, like, all right, what is my purpose? Who am I? Who am I really? Outside of everything else that everybody told me I'm supposed to be, who am I? That's your opportunity to to meet yourself and God and whoever you believe in. That is your opportunity. And it's simple.
How often is somebody supposed to be doing this? Just one time and then they're good?
For me, I can only speak for myself. I do it. I did it like years ago, but now like I'm noticing that there's some things that, I'm a little unsure about. So when I do it now, I'm just like, but then when I look long enough, I'm just like, you know what? You are beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Like it's beautiful. Like it's very emotional and happy at the same time. Like I just feel blessed. At the end of the day, I just feel blessed that I'm still here, that I made it and I'm making it. So that's what I feel. Everybody is different, but my main idea is to do it with actually expecting something. Don't do it just because. Do it because you are expecting life to be a little bit different than what you already have right now.
Yeah. Earlier, you said we were put on this earth to make the earth a better place. What does
Yes.
that mean?
Means like, 5 years ago or 10 years ago, or even right now, there are a lot of things that are going on, like politically, um, eco-friendly, like things. I just feel like we all have a very huge voice, but we just think, oh, it's just me. Like I'm just one person. And I like to mention this when I do my little podcast. There's always been one person who's made the biggest ripple. You have all of our leaders, good and bad, and they were just one person, and a bunch of people fell behind them and helped push their agenda or their ideas. I like to use Hitler as an example. He was one person, and yet everybody mentions that one person. Martin Luther King, one person. Everybody mentions Martin Luther King. It only takes one person who is willing to do the sacrifice and the work, and millions of people will remember you. That is how we leave imprints. And even if you don't make that big or you're not that celebrity type, it doesn't matter. Your local community can remember this and can pick up the torch from where you left. So I believe that all of us are just one being. We're just one being, just one little thing at a time. We're just making big strides, whether you believe it or not. Even little ripples end up making tsunamis. So just do you. You know what I mean?
Who's the one role model that made the biggest positive impact in your life?
There's not just one. I'm an accumulation of a bunch of different people. Um, but I will say that I'm forgetting his name right now, but once I started going on my journey to, spiritual journey, I ran into him, and he absolutely put me onto different books and helped me to feel, to realize meditation is important. And he was definitely phenomenal. I just can't remember his name right now, but we just spoke last week though. So he's one person, but there are so many others. Anybody I interact with, I feel like are leaving imprints in my life. I'm allowing them to leave imprints in my life, whether good things or bad things, whether it's like, okay, I'm never treating somebody like this again because of how you treated me, or good things like, wow, you made me feel good because you said something. And it doesn't even have to be anything about me per se, but it's just what you said. Maybe you just smiled. A lot of times we think that we have to speak in order to make a difference, but a smile can do a whole lot, So it's simple, just like that, gestures.
How did you or where did you meet this person?
A walking group. Anybody aware of Meetup, the app? So if you know about Meetup, I just said, let me do all these different things. I was in a running group, I was in a walking group, crazy. Um, and then I was in a board game group. So it was a bunch of different things, but I specifically met him in a walking group. And he saw me reading. I was reading this big book, and the book had like 12 books inside of it, like Napoleon Hill and a bunch of all these other authors. And he saw me reading that, and that's what had him come to me like, oh, you should read these other books too. And then we all walked and talked, and it's been that way since. And he's much older, which is even better. He's much older, so that means that he's more wise and he can teach me things. So
When you say reading, were you on an audio
no,
book or were you actually carrying around a huge book?
it was a huge book. So what happened is the local park, I would go to the park earlier before the actual group would meet. And, I didn't know anything about grounding or anything, but I just knew like when I was outside, I just like the sun to hit me and I was just reading a book, waiting for everyone else. So once we all met, I would put my book back in the car and then we would walk. So I don't know. I find like when you start doing the things that you're supposed to do,
Mm,
all of the things that will help you pursue your life and your purpose come along. And he was part of that. You
yes, yes. And that's why I asked, because so many times people stay in the same rhythm and the same cycle, and then they wonder why there's never any change.
hmm
It's because you have to change it up.
I agree 100%.
Yeah. If you want change, you have to yourself change. What is the number one lesson that you have learned about life?
Go with the flow.
Mm,
Um, and it just you just said it too. Like you have to be willing to change because does water stay stagnant? I use that analogy too. If water stayed stagnant, it would stink and it would create all of this fungus, all of these different things that will kill you. So don't be upset if a job didn't work out. And don't necessarily work to always, and I'm not trying to tell you to quit your jobs or anything, but don't necessarily work for the idea of a pension or a retirement plan because you never know if one, you'll live that far, or if two, that job is going to last that long. Just go with the flow. Jump off I like to tell everybody to jump off the wheel. Um, Interestingly enough, I don't really celebrate holidays anymore. And I try not to follow the calendar. And the reason why is because the calendar is repetitive. We all know when Christmas comes. We all know when New Year's. We all know when Easter comes. We already know these things. But once you take yourself out of that stream, now you're living. You have an opportunity to actually live at the unknown. And that's what life is about. At least that's what I believe.
So I was raised as a Jehovah's Witness.
Mhm.
Jehovah's Witnesses don't celebrate holidays. So I still, even though I left a long time ago, I still don't celebrate holidays. So high five on that. But what's your story behind that? Why did you decide to kind of pivot a little bit?
Capitalism. I mean, I know that I'm an inspirational clothing company, but capitalism. My favorite holiday was Thanksgiving. And as soon I stopped celebrating Thanksgiving the day that they made Black Friday on Thursday at 5 p.m. That right there, it was like you can't even let people have Thanksgiving where everybody's supposed to have some family time. Not even then. You won't let these people go home and I'm guilty though because I was there. But I mean, like, you won't let them go home and stay home and everything. Like, that's when I stopped celebrating Thanksgiving. That was like the only holiday that I really, really was like enjoying. I mean, I still will go, like, don't get it wrong. I'll still celebrate if somebody else wants to celebrate it. I'm not that kind of person, but it's just like I'm not going out of my way to be like, oh my goodness, Christmas is here. Let me go decorate. Or I'm not doing that. I'm more so of if this is something that we're going to celebrate, let's celebrate life every day. Let's appreciate each other every day because every day is different. You may see me today and then I may be gone tomorrow. And that's just a reality that we don't want to face. But it can possibly happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely a huge component of the holidays are kind of a sneakalicious way to keep us all broke. I did the whole single mom thing for a really long time. And I was very grateful during that time that I was raised as a Jehovah's Witness because I didn't have any guilt or weirdness around the holidays. So I didn't have that extra heaviness or guilt that a lot of people feel as far as not being able to provide all that extra stuff for their kid, because I had never had it. So it really didn't matter to me. But I really felt for, like, when I was looking at my bank account and I'm negative $172 in my bank account and it's 2 weeks before Christmas,
Mm.
I'm really feeling for those mothers out there that like are negative $172 in their account and haven't bought any Christmas gifts yet. And now their child has to go to school and they didn't get anything. I mean, that just makes my heart hurt so bad. And once I got to the point where I was financially stable and I was doing better for myself, I was just like, I can't do it. No, knowing that, like, I can't
Mhm.
allow myself and my son to perpetuate
Mhm.
that thought process for the entire world to feel the heaviness of what that means on these single mothers who can't do it. So I kind of just silently stood in that arena forever to this day. I've never bought my son a Christmas gift. I've never bought my son a birthday gift or a birthday cake for that, and for that fact. And he's 19 years old and nothing happened. This is what I tell people. Nothing happened. He's fine.
Yeah. But that's the thing, like when you're raised a certain way, then that's just what you believe. Now,
Mhm,
if he decides to celebrate birthdays from now on, that's on him. It's not
mhm.
indicative to like you saying you can't, you can't, you can't. But it's just that's part of his life journey to now celebrate it.
Yeah.
So it's not, I'm never going to be the person to tell somebody to not do something unless you're going to break the law or hurt somebody. Like, don't
Mhm,
do that.
mhm,
But if it's going to enhance you getting closer to God, nature, or whatever you believe in, then I'm all for it. Because all of these other things, these distractions that we so love, it doesn't help us do anything. It just divides us even more. Like we should all be able to feel comfortable leaving our doors open still. I mean, people may laugh at that, but why is that funny? Why is that not the case? Why are other parts of the world able to do that to this day? You know what I mean? Like it's just something is missing, and I believe the human aspect of us interacting with each other is what is missing.
mm,
We need to get back to that.
mm,
I have a t-shirt or a design that says hashtag humanity first. And I believe we're all creatures of absorption. So the things that we see and the things that we hear and the things that we speak are all created from the things that we absorb. So if you continuously absorb a message like high vibrations only, there is no reason why you shouldn't be on a high vibration because you are absorbing it. So your day should go a lot better.
yeah, definitely. I agree with that. As far as where humanity is going and the impact that you are looking to make in the world, what does that look like for you and your community?
I'll never give up on humanity because we're interesting, intricate creatures. No matter how much AI is becoming the norm, I have a T-shirt that says "Let's make jobs available for humans again." It's more so just to make people aware, like, yeah, we like instant gratification, but look what it's going to do, bottom line, to the human experience. So I believe that if I can reach one person, I don't know where that one person may end up. They may end up being the president of the United States that has a bigger voice. They may end up being a part of Congress or a judge, or maybe they might end up being a better parent, better sibling. That's none of my concern. All I'm supposed to do is what I'm doing now and try to inspire people. Just to give you a little glimpse of, um, I don't even like to use this word, but uh, I'll use it anyway, just for lack of not being able to think of something else, but hope. I don't like to use the word hope because it keeps you lingering and thinking and anticipating. I like to use another word I can't think of right now, but my idea is just do you live life, be happy, enjoy it, enjoy humans. have faith in human beings again. Like, we're not all that bad. I really do believe 95% of the world are good people. It's just we're trampled over a lot of traumas that we're not taught or thought that it's okay to work out. But imagine if all of us, and I put myself in there too, imagine if all of us could work through some of those really hard traumas and actually be free. How much more can you do? You
Mm.
know, it's amazing. And we have a lot of potential. So I just want to do my part, and that's it.
Yeah. Can you share with the audience what you do?
Absolutely.
And can you also share why you started it?
Absolutely. So I'll start with the why. I was driving home from a church function about 2013, let's say that 2013, because that's when the company was incepted. And for the first time in my entire life, I saw someone stuck. Like, you see that on TV, but to be in the neighborhood that I lived in, and also just like seeing someone swaying backwards like an accordion, like, this is when we stand upright. This is when we bend forward. But to be backwards all the way and then swaying like this, imagine a body being like that. I was just like, oh my goodness. And it just hit me. I was like, you know what? We're all the same where we feel like empathy for the situation in person. But my thought was, I know when they were a toddler growing up, this was not something that they thought they would be. Like, I'm gonna be strung out. And I made the T-shirt called "Addiction Kills the Family," and it had bear claws going through it. It was just basically, like I said, creatures of absorption. If as many people can see that message, maybe you're the person that's going through something, that's struggling with something. Because I believe anything that takes away time from family can be an addiction. You got people who overwork, people who use their cell phones too much, people who are addicted to things that are on the net. It's just anything could be an addiction. And that's what started the company, so that's where it started. Then I incorporated, and then I trademarked. And that's when I felt more comfortable selling things. And then I branched off into hoodies, onesies, because I believe as infants, if we can inspire them from then, that built-in DNA, it'll be hard for them to want to give up. And then I self-published a couple books too. So I could flip through if you want to see.
Yeah, I love that.
Okay. So this is the latest version. This is self-reflections, quotes that make you reflect. From my heart to your hand. And it says, can you see now? Basically, this is an image of a mirror. It's funny that we were just talking about that, right? When you look in the mirror, can you see who you really are? So I like to flip through, and whatever page it stops at, just read it. Ooh, a fetus lives off of what you feed him or her. We're all fetus. Can you dig that? And then the other one says, fun is the new lifestyle. So it's just a bunch of quotes that are all original, all of these things are copywritten. So, and I self-published and self-copywrote as well. But and that goes back to, once you are doing your purpose, I tell you, sometimes some of these quotes just came directly from God, maker, creator, whatever you believe in. It just hit me, and I just put it on paper. And then it's now a book. I never, ever, ever thought that I would be an author. But when I did, I was just like, oh, snap.
Can you talk a little bit? It's so easy to look right now, Joy, and where you are. You've created a company, you have authored some books, and to be like, good for you. Like, good on you, Joy.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Because people are in a dark spot. People are they have dreams, they have passions, they have desires. They're lost. They don't even know where to start. For those that are dreaming big, who do have something that they want to step into, but they don't know they don't know how. What were the first steps you took? How did you figure out how to go from no company, no book to company book? Like, what did you do? Did you?
It's crazy. Like, I just live, I guess you could say I live by faith. But so I was managing a Christian rap artist, and once that dissolved, I had already, I did all of the work for him, right? So I learned how to copyright for him all of his lyrics. And that's where the copyright came from. And I was like, well, I know how to do that. I didn't know I was going to be an author. Like, I was never a traditional writer. I didn't go to English or anything like that. But I said, well, I know how to copyright. And, with the way the world is now, you can easily find out, Google search things, you know what I mean? And find out how. As far as incorporating and all that stuff, first and foremost, I am an African American woman. And I always think that people will not take me and think that I'm legitimate unless I have paperwork. They don't care though. People don't care about that stuff, but it felt good for me. So I'm just like, well, I'm legitimate because I have an LLC. So you know that you're putting your monies, your hard-earned monies into an actual company, not just directly into somebody's pocket. And I also donate 10% of all the clothing designs to Hayden's Heart. And that's like a passion of mine. I felt like you can't be an inspirational company without giving back. And they actually raise awareness for babies with congenital heart disease. And they aid families who may have lost their children, during the funeral process, or helping with, homes and stuff like that. So I absolutely love that. And I love babies. So I love the fact that I could be a part of something like that. And it's not your traditional American Red Cross. They're actually local in New Jersey. So I know where the money is actually going. And I tangibly can talk to the owner if I wanted to. So, that all I can say is just go ahead and do. Once it hits you, try it out. And that's another thing. Like, if it fails, fine, try something else. Everything a part of my life hasn't been cookie cut or like perfect. And I don't want to be perfect. I don't strive to be perfect. I just strive to have progress every day. And just go ahead and do it. Like I said, my first book, I was sitting there like, oh, I just want to put it out. People won't mind if I have mistakes in there. Then I was like, wait, no. People will mind. And that's not a good look. So I got an editor, somebody that knew how to edit and put my stuff together. And all I did from there was make sure that grammatics were okay. And then I put it in the book, and everything just kept falling into place. All I did was Google, how do I put my book together? And I can't wait. And don't wait for other people to do stuff for you. I did everything, majority of the stuff by myself. I am to the point now where I want others to help. But like, as far as foundational wise, I didn't wait for someone who knew how to incorporate to do it for me. I did it myself. It's simple. Just go online to your state legislator and type in register your business. Simple. You don't have to pay anyone to do that. And if you do that, you automatically get an EIN. You don't have to buy anything. Only thing you're paying for is to register your business. You get the EIN, blah, 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 and go from there. And then whatever you are creating, just pay Caesar what is owed to Caesar. That's in the Bible. So if the tax man wants their money, give it to them. Everybody has to eat. You know what I mean? So just do right, and things will continue to flow right. Ooh, that's a quote.
Write that down, girl. Well, it's recorded, so you can go back and you can listen to it.
Oh, and there's one other thing I forgot. So what was it, 2022? We're in 23, yes. 2022, around March of last year, I hit 1,000 episodes on a podcast that I used to do daily. And it is called Hello World. So if anyone needs any encouragement outside of this podcast and outside of just meeting me, you can go on over to Be the Difference Clothing on YouTube. I have thousands of episodes and content, people that I've interviewed, just lives where I'm just talking, and you may be encouraged. So feel free to watch any of those playlists as often as you'd like.
I love it. Very cool. For those that are watching live, for those that are watching on the replay, they're obviously here. They've been hanging out for almost 35 minutes. They're resonating with what you're saying. Where can they find you? Where do you hang out? All the things.
Listen, if you want to stay connected with me, you can go to every platform: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Clapper, Claper, Lemonade, anything. You want to just type at, and then B as in boy, T as in Tom, D as in dog, LLC. That's how you find me on any platform. If you would like to purchase something just for just to encourage you and someone else, go head on over to BeTheDifferenceLLC.com. The website is down below. And also, if you would like any of these quotes books, any one of my books, go on over to the website, BeTheDifferenceLLC.com. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, and definitely show your girl some love. And I definitely will be happy to do that. And definitely show Sabrina some love as well. She is doing phenomenal things for people in all types of industry, women in all types of industries. I really appreciate you, and I'm greatly appreciative. I hope that this conversation was good for all of you, and including myself. And I'm very appreciative.
Of course. What are your big dreams for you and your community?
Just for us to catapult. That when I started the podcast, Hello World 2023, January 1st, 2023, I said this year we're all going to catapult. Do your vision boards and start catapulting. Where you are now, see yourself propelled somewhere else. Because by the end of this year, we all should be in a better place, a better space, emotionally, mentally, physically, financially. Let's just catapult. That's what it's about.
And why do you do what you do?
Because it makes me feel good to help others. And that's, I guess, my passion behind it all.
I love it. Well, I thank you so much for being here, for hanging out with us, for sharing your story and all the goodness that you're bringing into the world. For those of you listening live or on the replay, Joy's website is right underneath her face area. It's also in the description below in a clickable link wherever you're watching us at. Do you hang out Facebook, Insta, LinkedIn? Where do you mostly hang out?
The best thing about all of those platforms is I post something different on each platform. All content is different. So follow all of them. I'm probably on all of them equally. Every day I try to hit at least one of the platforms with something fresh. So, just check me out on any of those.
I love it. Very cool. Well, thank you so much, Joy, for being here. For those of you watching live or on the replay, if you resonated with Joy and all the goodness, make sure you check her out, connect. This is how we help each other rise. Thank you so much for being here, for listening live or on the replay. This is her talk show. This community is expanding every single day, and it's filled with females who are striving to do better than they did yesterday. For those of you that are new to this podcast and like content like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button, follow, like, and share. If you are interested in possibly being on the show, make sure to go to me at hernation.life. I am your host, Sabrina Victoria, and I'm so grateful to be here sharing a platform that allows people to share their truth and inspire others.